Hey there everyone, this is Michael Dougal, and today I'm going to do a product review and answer commonly asked questions about Semax, which is a nootropic that I've used 7 or 8 times. I typically will have it in a cycle in which I'll use it for a few months, and then I'll get off of the supplement, maybe return to it a year afterwards, because that way you can get the most of the benefits without setting yourself up for any sort of tolerance that may be built. And I definitely feel it's a unique nootropic. It's hard to find an alternative for, and that's why it may really have its use in a lot of people's nootropic stack. For example, it'll boost motivation, and at the same time, it'll lower anxiety. Whereas other nootropics out there, it's like they'll help with one or the other. Like they'll boost motivation, but then it'll come at the cost of anxiety. It's certainly not perfect. Like in the past, I've rated Semax a 7 out of 10. I would probably say now maybe between a 5 out of 10 or 6 out of 10. And that's because of the fact that it's not very practical to use. It's very costly. And for most people, they actually don't really notice anything from Semax. Like I want to warn you, this is a very subtle nootropic supplement. And if you're somebody that hasn't really noticed the effects of other nootropics out there, like Noopept or ashwagandha or Prastam, then you probably won't notice anything with Semax. Like I'm very sensitive to my state. I'm also very sensitive to nootropics, fortunately. So I can tell that Semax is working. And I personally feel like acute benefits more than long-term benefits. Like when I'll use Semax, I can feel somewhat of a concentration boost for a few hours. And also that it's far easier to socialize with people. Like I'm just more likely to be in a state where I have the courage to go and approach people and I have interest with them in the same time. And I can say it'll help with all things cognition. It's just that the boost that you get is pretty minimal. And that makes it appropriate for all kinds of work. Like whether you're an entrepreneur or you're a student, you'll find that you should see some sort of benefit using Semax. The research is pretty limited on the compound. We have some research showing that it may be helpful for elder individuals or individuals with some sort of cognitive issue. But then again, I can say the exact same thing about a lot of the popular nootropics out there, just that they're not really backed by research in healthy young people like myself. When it comes to execution and productivity, getting things done, then I think that Semax is great because you'll find like it's a nootropic where you're able to learn effectively, but because it boosts focus, you're able to ensure that you're learning, you're also executing at the same time. And if there's one nootropic I would compare it to, it would be Noopept. I feel they're very similar. Both of them have acute effects in which you would use them. You'd get that boost of focus. You'll be a bit more productive. I think the difference with Semax is it might be a little bit better on the side of learning, on the side of increasing BDNF, where you actually can potentially become smarter through neurogenesis. And when I use Noopept, for example, I don't find myself as adaptable. I'm not able to like think smart or think outside of the box versus Semax. It's like I'm able to do and I'm able to reflect on what I'm doing at the same time so I can be more efficient moving forward. But that's the major reason why I discontinued the use of Semax. I probably don't plan to use it over the next few years. It's because of the fact that I have Noopept, and while Semax may be better than Noopept at specific areas, I feel that Noopept helps me to get a lot more done, and I feel that Noopept might be on the safer side, or at least for me, I've used Noopept for many years. I haven't really had any side effects or issues with it. Perhaps the withdrawals experience with Noopept might be a little bit more significant than with Semax. I've always felt like Semax being pretty safe. Despite a lot of discussion around Semax and hair loss, it's something that I would encourage you to research if it's something that you're concerned about. The other couple of warnings or side effects around Semax use are headaches as well as a worse mood. But fortunately, like if you know you're not responding well to Semax, like you'll know within the first week, and then all you have to do is just discontinue the use of it. I do like that it's a versatile nootropic. It goes well with pretty much every compound out there. I would definitely use it along with form of choline, my favorite being alpha GPC, which I've talked about more in this video over here. They go well together, especially the fact that like Semax is going to most likely make you more productive, and you'd want to make sure that you're getting enough choline in your system so that you're not exhausted. And it doesn't matter when during the day you take it. For me, when I do take it, I'll take it twice during the day. I'll take it once in the morning before my workout, and then I'll have it in the late afternoon or early afternoon, depending on how I'm feeling. You can actually use it in the later portion of the day. If that's when you work, you'll find that Semax, while it may be like a little bit mentally stimulating, it's definitely not physically stimulating, and it's also not likely to keep you from sleeping. How the compound is consumed is either going to be in some sort of like spray bottle where you'd spray up your nostril. It might be in a dropper, which you would drop on your nostril, or it might be in a dropper, which would go under your tongue. And that's why I'd mentioned it's not that convenient to take. Sometimes you get the powder, then you have to mix it up with some sort of moisture for you to actually make the spray or the nasal drop yourself. I personally don't mind it because spraying anything up your nostril will guarantee it'll boost your alertness, but I do prefer some of the other nootropic compounds, which are a little bit more practical and easier to take. Most people would just simply not notice it working. There are going to be some people, probably less than 10%, maybe 5% of the people who swear by the use of it. I would say if you're somebody that really struggles with social anxiety and perhaps you've used some other nootropics, you've seen a little bit of a benefit, but you just haven't found the right nootropic yet, then Semax may be worth investigating for you. Of course, make sure to do your research. Make sure to consult with your general practitioner to see if it's okay and it's healthy for you. I'd love to see your thoughts about Semax in the comment section below. If you want to chat with me one-on-one, you can consider messaging me on Patreon. Be sure to subscribe, show the channel some love. I appreciate your support, and make sure to join our Discord server, which has a 24/7 chat room. We're having a whole lot of fun. I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you next time.